Historic Preservation Commission. As we will always do, we'll please note that we have a quorum. Mr. Kerr is absent. Is anyone else absent? Just Mr. Kerr. Very good. First order of business is the approval of the minutes of the April meeting. Members of the commission, you've had a chance to review those. What's your pleasure?
Move approval.
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion, members of the commission? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's move on to our business items. The first request is old business. The request of Sonia Felix at 1044 North Troy. Is somebody here for this application on North Troy? Well, David, this is the,
Second time.
we deferred action on them last time. Tell you what, let's put this to the end of our agenda. We'll revisit that, give Ms. Felix an opportunity to appear. If not, we'll have no option, I think, but to deny the application. All right, new business then. First application is that 975 Laurel Avenue window replacement application of Paki Valeka.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Valeka, good afternoon. We've seen your application. We've all reviewed this online, so you can tell us as little or as much as you want, and we'll take it from there.
What's the best way to speak to you?
Stand at the podium, give your name for the record, and then roll with it.
Okay. Well, thanks, folks. Appreciate you considering our application today. We live at 975 Laurel there. My wife, Gina, and I, we bought the house back in 2016, and we've been fixing it up ever since. The plan was to be done in 5 years, and it's been 9. We're about halfway done.
So we understand.
Yeah. So the windows are original to the house. I think the house was built sometime between 1925 and 1937, 38, something like that. It's unclear. And they're original, and they haven't been maintained since they've been installed. They're a mess, and there's some pictures of the current windows in there. And so there's a close-up of a few of the bad boys there.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a lot of the muntins are rotten from interior condensation. They're single pane. Just lack of maintenance and love and care over the decades. So they're in bad shape. And so I want to replace them completely, all of them. There's 33 fenestrations in the house, and all fenestrations I want to replace with new, modern, high-performance, good-looking windows. And so the request for you folks is to approve that Anderson Woodwright solid wood window with 3-piece grill applied permanently to the exterior, the interior of the pane, and the interior of the pane.
Foam in between it.
And
Yes.
Cross
a
section.
Fibrex
No Fibrex.
exterior? No? Okay, so they would be
It's clad.
100%. It's
They're wood.
It's
they're
clad.
wood clad with Fibrex, right?
Yes, yeah.
They're solid
So-
wood, and the
Yeah.
exterior is clad
Right,
with a composite
Yes.
right,
proprietary to Anderson. Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
I just had one question on
Yeah.
the width of the sash. Is it about the same as this, like 7/8 inch? It's not a real wide.
The height of the sash or
No,
the depth of the sash?
I mean the grids.
Width of the money.
Oh, the grid.
Yeah.
They're 3/4,
Good.
which is what they are now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I looked them up. They're considered the traditional ones,
Okay.
and they're very, very
I just
similar.
wanted to make sure they weren't those 1.5 ones.
Right. Yeah.
No,
Mm-hmm.
very similar to what we have now,
Yeah.
except they perform.
Yeah.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
are these insert windows?
No, full frame replacement.
Full frame replacement. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I move we approve as presented.
I'll second it.
Motion second. Is there anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Members of the commission, further discussion?
Well, yes.
That's, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that the Anderson Woodwright product is an excellent product, and it will be more durable than 100% wood window now. I feel like, as the preservationist on the commission, though, that I want to just express my regret that we are losing original windows in the village in a National Historic Landmark district, and I'm sorry to see that, because every piece of original fabric that we lose, it's just not the same. It can never be replaced. So I'm sorry to see 100-year-old windows that, you know, clearly haven't been maintained. They are in terrible condition, and that we're at this point. And there is published information that that historic wood windows can be just as energy efficient as the newer windows if they have storms on them. And not many people are willing to live with that. I personally am. But I just want to express my regret that we're losing original material. That's all.
Thank you, Beth. I actually share that sentiment. I'm not a restorer, but I am sensitive to the house. I feel like it's our turn to take care of it for as long as we have it. And everything we've done to date has been very sensitive about taking care of the house. But the windows are gone. They've died. It's time to inter them and move on. So thank you for the sentiment.
All right, any further comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention.
You are welcome. All right, let's move on to the next item of business. It's 56 East Sharon, the request of Michael O'Connor for window
There
replacement.
we go again.
Mr. O'Connor?
Well, I'm Mike, and my wife Nancy. A lot of you guys already know us. Beth in particular has
Yes.
done a lot of hand-holding over the years.
Yeah.
I don't think I could put it any more succinctly or eloquently than my predecessor here. We're in the very same boat. Windows are probably at least 100 years old. I think originally when the house was built in 1864, the windows went all the way down to a porch. So at some point, they were shortened. So, but I suspect the windows are probably still well over 100 years old. And as our predecessor said here, it's just we're at a point in our lives where we just want to have the functionality, the weatherproofing, and the ease. We just want them to work, for one thing, and be able to open them, and we want them to look good. We're hoping we can lose the storm windows, so what we have got, that's a salesman's model there. Ours are going to be custom made to exactly match the existing windows with something called integral light technology, which has the spacers in between, and probably going to go white with those. We were trying to decide, well, Nancy was going to decide on the color. So, but, and again, as the gentleman ahead of me said, we've lived there 40 years, and we feel like everything we've done has had the blessing and the footprint from you guys, and we consider ourselves stewards of the house, and we want to make this look as good as we can, but still, at this point in our lives, make them as functional and carefree as we can.
Thank you, sir. Members of the commission?
Well, really quick, how many windows are there?
Two.
Just
The two out
Just
front.
two,
On
okay.
the front.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch in the addition that we put in at the back of the house, and they're all the same. They're the simulated divided light, so they're going to look very similar to
Okay.
that.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah. Any further discussion? Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the application as submitted.
Second?
Motion second. Anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Members of the commission, further comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Ma'am?
Thank you.
All right. Let's move on to our next request. That's at 915 Greenville. Request of Barbara Lumsden for railing and decking in the front porch. Is Mrs. Lumsden available?
No, she didn't make it.
Ah, all right.
She's babysitting.
Sir, if you would give your name for the record and tell us what you've got.
Name is Greg Hermes. And I'm the contractor, Craft Construction. And I've known Barb quite a long time. Seen him when he was a little baby.
That doesn't go on the record.
The front porch itself, back in the day, it was a Doug fir, and it's been replaced before. House was built in 1895. What's happened, I guess, over the time, that maybe that was done 25 years ago, we're not quite sure. But it's all the ends, when a porch is built initially, when they build it, it always has at least an inch slope going out each foot, just so the water can flow away when it drives in. You're probably familiar with all that. What ends up happening is that unless you really take care of it and have maintenance on it, at the ends it always rots. So cosmetically, taking that up, cosmetically taking the railing off, and just updating to something more, less maintenance for sure, and last a long, long time. So what I did is I just built this just so you can kind of see. This is TimberTech, AZEK, and this is old tongue and groove.
Mm-hmm.
And it's screwed in really nice. So realistically, what ends up happening, it'll go with the flow where the joists go and float on out. It'll be edged off around the 3 corners. Basically, this color here right now is the exact color that the painted wood is on her front porch right now. So it makes it really nice and just never have any issues with it all. We're replacing the existing steps as well. Because the steps, when they were installed by whoever installed them, the first step dropping down the riser is 9.5 inches, the next one's 8 3/4, the next one's 8, and the next one's 7. So 8 1/4 is code specific. So we're redoing those treads and same risers, just make them at 8 1/4, so it all works out. Ends up being a perfect situation. We end up doing the steps as well. They're going to be 12-inch treads. So we end up utilizing the same material there, so it complements what's on the deck. Okay, so we're not going to use it right now. It's made out of 2x10s or that kind of thing for the treads. Whoever replaced it probably just used like a treated material. But I wanted to keep it to where it's going to complement what's going on the main body of the porch. So that takes care of that part, and then the railing. I brought this along as well. Illumina is a wonderful company. It's a family-owned business. We've used them for a long time, and they make this type of railing where it looks 2x2s, as opposed to the typical railing you said that's like a 1/2 inch diameter square. The handrail itself is more code-worthy as far as gripping onto. That's what you want to think about nowadays. The color that she wants to make that is going to be a white in color. The existing posts that are there supporting the front porch, as you can see on there, they're in fantastic shape. So when we take it off, they have a trim piece down the bottom of those posts. We're going to take that off so we can get all the 1x Doug fir off of there. We're going to do a little bit of framing of using treated material, getting ready for this exterior border that's going to be wrapping around the perimeter. We've done this on a lot of homes, turn of the century homes. But this right here, the railing, when you replace that, it'll just make it no maintenance, because right now her spindles are a hot mess, especially on the base, just rotting away. So you replace what, 2 or 3 spindles? What do you do? It's constant, especially where you go down the railing on the one side. The railing where it ties into that post, I mean, it's totally rotted away. I mean, you grab it, it just shakes. At the bottom there too, we're going to be putting a 6-inch square aluminum post to complement what we've taken out. So it actually, when you take a look at it from that far away, it's going to look exactly the same. There's nothing really going to be different. So aesthetically, it does wonders. So that's what I was planning on doing.
Describe a little bit more of the finishing of the edge of the porch flooring. You said you finished the edge. How
Well,
do you
see,
do
right
that?
now, when you put this outside edge here,
That's the way you're going to do it?
yes,
Okay.
okay? Because the ends of the tongue groove, you don't want to have that exposed just like it is right now. So this will just have the border finish. So we have to put some treated material just so we can actually screw down
Sure.
something on it. The neat thing about this is just actually just shot in with finish nails, but they have the screws that go into this, and then they have fillers that match and complement the material that's in there. So you won't even know where the screws went into. So it's really neat. It's like maybe 1/8 of an inch, the screw head itself, just to keep it secure. And then you actually put the fillers in there and smooth it out. It's really sweet. This is TimberTech. It's an AZEK material, and They came out with this about maybe 8, 9 years ago, and it's being used quite a bit, especially on a lot of the homes that are historical.
We have one on trial with
The, sort of the 6-inch poles that you'll have at the end of the end of the handrails, will they have a cap like,
Oh, yeah.
you didn't mention that, and I don't see it on the plans. It looks fairly plain as far as the cap on top of
Yeah,
the,
he did that just for, I guess, to show, we had to have somewhat of a plane. We actually went with QUORUM, 2 alumina, and they actually, normally they're 4-inch, but they had a 10-foot, 6-inch square piece, which was awesome, and they saved it for us. And so what they do, and they put a cap on it where it slopes on all 4 sides, it has that same similar look, and then, you know, they put the finish coat on it. This is just a bronze piece that they gave me. They have several colors to choose from, and she would just like to go with the white. And we're gonna repaint those posts and everything, just where it gets rid of that more of that yellowish look for that, and just make it all white. That was the plan.
okay. Another question I had, I'll just call it the gingerbread on top of the porch, will that remain?
Oh, you mean on top? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that remains.
I didn't think so. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll remain. That's in fantastic shape.
So there was nothing on the plans talking about your products. Does this work, having it just described here in the meeting, does that work as a record? Or should he write something on a plan that, listing the products?
The zoning code, my work, doesn't concern itself with the product because you're not expanding the porch or changing the porch.
But ours does concern the product.
Yeah, so I would say if the commission feels comfortable with it being on the record and that serving, that's fine, but.
Or you can make it a condition of approval to match what he's already said.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else, members of the commission?
Are there any other railings around the side of the house or the back?
No, she has a plan to go ahead and actually do a room addition on the back of the house, maybe in that beginning next year. And we'll just complement that little landing area that was gonna go into the back of the house. And do the same type of thing, so it complements the front.
I may have missed this before though. Is there like a concrete pad or landing at the bottom of the
Yeah, that's
steps?
actually it's a real big piece of stone, which is awesome.
So you'll be able to anchor the.
Oh, yeah, it
Posts
goes
into
right
the
on
end of
top,
this.
right on top, it's gorgeous. And the rest of it from beyond that point is actually kind of, brick and
Okay.
laid to go into the driveway. But
Okay,
that
great.
piece of stone is like 3 foot by 8 foot, it's really cool, about 6 inches thick.
We ready for a motion?
Yeah.
I move that we accept it as described and that, as it's described, is the way it has to be built.
The materials that were described?
Yeah, it's the materials that were described.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Further discussion, members of the commission? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along. Next application is at 420 East Sharon. The application of Lynn and Rodney Kreider for a one-room kitchen addition. I saw one of the Kreiders at least.
I'm Julie Fallon with Grove Architects. I did the drawings. Yes, it's a one-story kitchen addition. Do you have any questions? You want me to talk about it, or?
Give us a brief overview to
Okay.
remind us.
Well, it's in the back of the house. There's an L. They have their house. They have the kitchen. There's a mudroom behind it that I designed also. This is in like the L part of the back, so it's not visible from the street. It's visible from the side and then of course from the back. So we're using materials to match, colors to match. The windows in a kitchen, of course, are shorter than, you know, the full long windows, but we're mimicking them in style, some divided light. Yeah, the gutters align. We're matching that peak on the side to match the same slope as the existing peak on the main house.
All right.
I only had one question. It's not a design question, really. It's but it's something I just wanted to see if you, and answer to. The exterior steps to the basement, is there any drain at the bottom for that?
There is. I'm the homeowner, I'm Rod Kreider. There is a drain at the bottom of the steps. The plan I think that Julie has drawn up, we're reorienting those steps. We had originally talked about eliminating that entrance altogether, but we need an entrance we need an exterior entrance to the
Yeah.
basement, but yes, there is.
I just wanted to make sure you had something
Yeah.
like that, so it
Yep.
wouldn't be a swamp down there.
Yep.
Okay.
And did you mention that the new windows will be simulated divided light hub spacers?
Well, they're shown as shown in the picture, or shown in the drawing.
I think it does say that on there.
Marvin Ultimate Double Hung Aluminum Clad Window with Divided Light Pattern. So you just have to make sure that the divided lights have the spacer in
Okay.
between the panes.
Okay.
And
That's
they're
all.
simulated divided light, so they have the
Right.
grid on the inside and outside,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
interior.
All right.
Right.
That's helpful.
Right. Yeah, every manufacturer has a different, they call them different
Terminology.
things.
SDL,
Yeah.
ITL. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's good that this addition is set back behind that square bay that is closer to the street. So
Yeah,
it
the
won't,
office.
it won't be that noticeable,
Right.
and it's gonna be a great kitchen.
I like it, I like the way you matched a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the features, the roof slope and all that's very good.
And you're using the same builder, I think, as you used.
Red.
Yes.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
got it. They'll do a great job.
All right.
I move to approve as submitted.
Second,
Do you want to make a condition relative to the windows?
Ah.
Make sure it's clear, or?
Yes, that they are simulated divided lights, which means a grid on both sides on the outside and a filler grid in between.
yeah.
Second, incorporate that as well?
Yes.
All right, is there anyone in the audience wishes to address this application? Members of the commission, further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. See you guys.
Thank you.
All right, making good time here. Next request is the application at 175 Magnolia, Rob and Jennifer Keeler, for covered porch, hardscape, and trim work. Mr. Keeler, good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Yes.
good evening.
Good afternoon.
Robert and Jennifer are both here and attending.
Okay, well, we've all had a chance to review the application, so unless you want to say any more, we'll take it from here.
Take it away.
Rob, are you doing anything to the front other than painting and things?
On the front of the house, as a follow-up to this construction with Legacy, we will come back in front of you again with some new garage doors.
Got it.
Some Clopay, Coachman doors,
Got
carriage
it.
style.
Okay.
Um,
So everything here that we're talking about today is in the back, other than the garage floor?
Correct,
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
It looked like the ceiling that they specified for the addition, when I looked it up, it looked like that's for interior use only, so you might wanna make sure that they use something that's good for exterior, because that's considered exterior when it's in an open porch like that.
Sure. Okay. So you're speaking to the tongue and groove on the
Yeah,
inside ceiling of the,
Exactly.
I believe.
And there's some very nice composite products. Now, they can save you some money. They come in big sheets that you'll never would know that they're not real.
Very good.
Anything else, members of the commission?
Since it's all behind the house, it all fits with the current plan, design of the house. No, I'll move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All right, motion is second. Is there anyone in the audience wishes to address this application? Further discussion, members of the commission? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Keeler.
Appreciate
Mrs.
your
Keeler.
time.
All right, once again, moving on. We are at the application for 9 West Sharon, application of Mr. Bessel?
Yes.
Is that, did I say that correctly? Oh, yeah, there's too many vowels, too many syllables there.
Yeah.
Too many
Too many
consonants. Yeah. So-
Let's give them a hard time, folks. I'm Mike Bessel and Austin Garrison, the owner of the Friendly Stop. And the concept here is to provide a patio on the side of my building, on the property that I own, that the Friendly Stop can use to be able to have outdoor seating in the nicer weather, and hopefully increase their business and possibly provide kind of a nice amenity for Glendale to have some more outdoor dining. So we got our heads together, and the idea would be to put a patio in the entire area, north of the Friendly Stop side entrance, and then east of my building, and then install a hand railing very similar to what is currently down at Piccolo. One, to keep people from wandering out into the street, but also it's got to do with the liquor license and people's ability to stay within that area. That's an example of a standard product that would be at Lowe's. The contractor would get the product from Lowe's. That was as close as I could find to what is at Piccolo, just in a picture form. He did not provide exact specs on that fence, though. So maybe that's something we've got to go back and get, but it's not it's just a standard 4-foot aluminum fence.
handrail and fence, yeah.
Yeah.
His approach was he was gonna get whatever was most cost effective, but he didn't give me the spec on the fence. Be an aluminum though, aluminum black anchored to the concrete, and then where it could anchor to the side of the building, he was gonna try to anchor it there as well.
So you don't have dimensions of any of the spindles or the
Don't have dimensions of the
railing or any
spindles,
of that?
no, no.
And does there have to be an easement between the two, or if it's not the same ownership, right? So
It's not the same ownership. What we'll do is set it up so that Austin will lease that space from me.
Talking about the spindle width, zoning code requires that front and side yard fences are at least 50% open.
Mhm.
So anything that is at least 50% open is permitted by the zoning code.
And this one would be 50%
More
open.
than 50, but, yeah.
Is the ramp currently on the Friendly Stop property? It's just kind of odd. I just didn't know
Yes,
if that
well,
was the way the
it's
property's laid
the-
out.
Yeah, the current, the ramp and everything is slightly on my property.
Yeah.
Mine goes almost up to the edge of the Friendly Stop building.
Okay.
So we've lived together for a long time, sharing this way.
So there's no plan right now to update the ramp to be ADA? Correct
There-
slope and everything, it'll remain the way it is?
Remain the way it is. The ramp is existing. Stairs would need to be added.
So the ramp won't come out to do the concrete work or anything like that?
They might have to move it, but
Well, then you have to go ADA compliant.
then it has to be ADA compliant.
Once you touch it, and it's pretty
Yeah, in
steep.
fact, I'm not sure if you just add the stairs to it, you don't have to.
Okay.
We got into this at the Lyceum on something.
About that.
Um,
So that is then determining what is ADA compliant, and then just building that style ramp,
Correct.
Right.
right?
And with
Which would be a down and then down again. With the additional patio there, it won't be a problem.
Right.
to
You
achieve
may-
that.
You may have to bleed into that back space.
It's possible.
Because the height of the ramp
Mhm.
is quite considerable.
Mhm.
And it's typically 12 inches for every inch height.
12 for every inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to go 12 inches deep for every inch height you go.
Okay.
So it could be a pretty considerable ramp, just
Well,
keeping that in
They can be
mind.
very long.
Yeah. And not taking away from the area designated as the outdoor seating, it may have to go up and back and out.
Right.
It might have to do that, yes.
That way, then
And then-
a landing, and then back the other way.
And then back the other way.
But that would really, I mean, open it up for a lot of people who have, you know,
It's true.
challenges to get in, because that
Yeah.
ramp is really steep now.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if it's necessary, we'd have no problem achieving it. You just determine what the spec is and you build it that way. And all the material for that would be similar to the material that's there now, similar or same.
Yeah.
Wood decking.
My only other thought on this one is, should the corner posts be bollards? So if you had somebody veer off the road and so on, they hit something other than a aluminum fence.
That's actually a good idea.
We could do that.
I don't think, there's probably nothing in our zoning, I would think,
Yeah.
that requires that one, no.
There is currently a large post that holds the traffic light.
It's true. Yeah,
On the corner, yeah.
Yeah, right
down the
there.
corner.
Right.
So that's gonna, okay, well,
It's-
that's your,
it's a kind of a built-in
I don't think,
bollar.
I'm just, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think that really is an issue for
I
us.
guess another question I would have is, any kind of lighting out there proposed?
I'd like to add some lighting.
Would you?
Yeah, like something tasteful, obviously. Like
Is it
my
like-
my goal is just to have something that, you know, is another addition to that corner. You know, that space has just been not utilized for
Right.
as long as I've lived here.
This will be an upgrade,
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly, and that's my goal, is something that looks nice, that fits the brand of the Friendly Stop and the brand of Glendale together. And, you know, that's my goal.
Then what you might wanna consider is making those corner posts taller
Right.
right from the beginning.
Mhm.
And then you can hang
No down lighting.
patio
Right,
lighting
down
or
lighting,
down
yeah.
lighting or
Like
something.
gooseneck or something?
That's potential.
That'd be
Or,
good.
or come off the corner of one building to the other
Other,
with
yeah.
those
Correct. Like
Right.
strong. Yeah.
decorative lights,
Right.
or,
Yeah.
as we talked at one point, some very tasteful lights could be mounted to the side of my building and directed in a certain way.
Yeah, they have very nice down lights now that on the side of the building that only go out
Right.
4 to 6 feet,
Right.
right?
You'd have to come back to us with the lighting though.
For the lighting scheme, which you could do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Anything else, members of the commission? Your motion.
Let's see if we can get this. David, can you handle the issue of because that's really a zoning issue for not a appropriate issue for a ramp?
Yes.
Because, I mean, the issue is what we don't know is if you add the stairs to that, does that cause
Yeah, that
the
would.
requirement for a change?
We'll talk to our building inspectors and make sure
Okay.
that.
All right,
And we might just do it anyway, so that it actually functions the way it's supposed to.
Actually, it'll give you a little more space if you go back in there,
Yeah.
turn and come
Back
back.
and come back.
You'll gain a lot of that space in the deck area.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll move approval with the concrete floor and an aluminum fence with David to handle the issue of the ramp.
It's fair.
Worried me a little bit when you said he's gonna go with the cheapest thing he can on the aluminum fencing though.
Cost effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
cost
hope that
effective.
you would at least look at that and make sure that it's appropriate for the corner.
Okay.
It's gonna be a very visible area there.
We can do that. Again, I was thinking of what's at Piccolo, which looks very nice.
Yeah,
But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
so
And if
should we
we-
just say
if we need
that
something a
matches
little-
Piccolos?
Yeah. Something to at least match Piccolo.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
Just a last minute question. The trees that are there, will those,
Those will come down.
Yeah.
They're kind of plants that are sculpted into trees. I don't even know if they're really
Okay.
trees.
all right.
It's a Rose of Sharon honeysuckle combination.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion, second. Is there anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Members of the commission, further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
very
Good.
much. Hey, thanks a
All
lot.
right,
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on. Next request is at 15 West Sharon. Applicant is Chanel Smith for coffee shop signage. Ms. Smith.
Hi, my name is Chanel Smith. This is the mock-up for the building signage as well as hanging sign for the proposed coffee shop there at 15 West Sharon. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I can't really speak too much about it other than we're using Cincinnati custom signs. I know they did the Meritage sign and maybe another Glendale sign, but yeah.
All right.
It's a
Members of the commission.
Looks attractive.
very
Yeah.
attractive logo.
I like
Thank
it.
you. Designed it myself.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
I move approval.
I'll second that.
Motion second. Anyone in the audience wish to address this
You
application?
do know the requirements for the height off the sidewalk and stuff.
For the hanging sign,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
They, I believe, at Cincinnati Custom Signs were aware of that, but we did talk about some height
We'll verify
requirements.
that. It's 8
Okay.
foot. 8 foot. We'll verify. that.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, we have motion second. Further discussion, members of the commission? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank
Good.
you.
When will you open?
I'm working on it, hoping for end of May, if not
Wow.
early June.
Great.
So we're
Good.
moving
Good
right
luck.
along.
Welcome to
Welcome.
Glendale.
Thanks.
All right. Next request, there's actually two requests for the same address, but I suppose we'll take them separately because they're two different applications. The first is for 304 Cleveland for a fence. The applicant is Robert Netsch. Are you Robert?
I am Robert Metch. This is Brian
Metch.
Markham, the owner of the
Okay.
company and property. I'm just the facility manager.
Okay.
Taking care of
Well,
people.
we'll let you decide who wants to speak. We'll take it from there.
Probably be a mixture of all of us. but-
That's fine.
First of all, it's very nice to meet you all. My name is Brian Markham. I'm the CEO of a company called Golden Technology. We're a IT consulting shop that does a lot of work for Kroger, and right down the street in Blue Ash and downtown as well. We have a Cincinnati office with some operations folks that we were located on Tylersville Road off of Tyler's Place behind the Myers grocery store. I had a big 10,000 square foot building, rented out half of it, and the other half I had 2 or 3 people come into the office on a given day because of COVID. So now we've created this hybrid model work where we only have about 9 people that work at the Cincinnati location, but I'm only requiring 2 days a week for them to be back in the office. So I had a really good offer to sell that building and was super excited about that. And we really wanted to find a place where it was near a bunch of restaurants and nightlife and just good times and coffee shops. And I stumbled across a 108-year-old home that we fell in love with. So we're super excited about maintaining. It's an honor to have such level of restrictions in a community, and I'm still learning, so we may not pass right away, but we'll figure things out along the way, and we will do what's right for this community. So there's actually 2 other applications that we put in on April 22nd and April 27th. I don't know if that made the docket or
They
not.
did. The sidewalk was a like and same replacement.
Okay.
So that does not require planning commission review. Just replacing the concrete walk in front of the building. And then
The change of use.
the change of use does not require planning commission review. That's a building department process.
Excellent, okay. So anyhow, the fence is really what we're trying to create here is we have along with Golden Technology, I have a foundation called Golden Community. We don't do much business or activities there, but we do have a foundation that helps the overlooked and underserved by serving their holistically, mind, body, and soul. So occasionally we will have like a men's ministry event at my church. We'll have guys come. So we wanted to create this kind of hidden little area or quiet area where we can come and just sit by our fire pit and have fun and talk shop. And so the fence is also to kind of very candidly is to screen off the dog grooming kennel shop that's there to give us a little bit more privacy and to give us a little bit of screening away from that building. And what we are applying for is probably a 6-foot fence that would go to the corner of the house, so there's plenty of distance away. We had the landscape design done by a longtime resident of Glendale who's recently moved out of Glendale, Mark Kuhnel. who's a landscape architect, so he knows all the codes and everything that you all require. But we have the fence there as to where it's designed to go on the building. We provided the architectural, landscape architect drawings as well.
So the, with Cleveland as the front, but you actually do have two fronts, but still, the 6-foot fence would be totally behind the building from both sides.
Yes, it would be, so you're right, the front of the building faces Cleveland, the back of the building faces the dog kennel. So the fence would come up along the dog kennel and shoot down just to the corner of the house.
Yep. And then the little 4-foot metal fence is really only between the house and the garage.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's really what we're trying to create, is like a little gazebo area there.
Yeah.
For sitting and reading and so forth.
Now that fence, the way it's pictured is the way you would see it. You'll see the unfinished side, the side with the supports and everything facing you.
That's right.
There is an alternative you could do that would be attractive, where you have the framing, and then you have a piece here and a piece here and a piece here and a piece here, so that it has a nicer look on both sides.
More of a louvered look.
Yeah.
I think I like that.
And I think it's a nicer looking fence. You won't feel, it doesn't feel like a stockade fence.
Yeah, no, I think that was, I think I like that idea. And what are the restrictions around going with, I think the picture was more of a wood product as opposed to a composite of similar things. Are there restrictions around
I
that?
have to be speaking for myself, but you could do wood or a composite, I think.
Okay.
Right, as long as it looked
But I think you'd be
wood-like.
happier with the one where it's on either side of the
Yeah.
of the framing. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
I know exactly what
Okay.
you're talking about. It's offset from one another,
Exactly.
all the way down.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
I just have a question related to the design guidelines that we have for the historic district, and the guidelines for fences suggest using paint or an opaque stain on wood fencing, using a color that's compatible with the building. Would you consider that, as opposed to having a raw wood fence?
Yeah, I would rather, my personal preference is to go with the composite product, so the maintenance of it is just minimal. We're trying to create this as a turnkey, beautiful cornered, well landscaped home that should be admirable. So from a color perspective, I haven't thought too much about it. Sharon is my office manager and also the decision maker on the decoration side. Did you have an idea of the
I
fence from a
believe
color
the
perspective?
fence between UDF and New Pizza Place is a composite material, and it's a color.
Like a
and I
tan
think that
beige
would
color
just-
kind of
It's a
thing?
beige.
My
Yeah.
friendly reminder that planning commission does not regulate color.
Right.
I'm just referring to the guidelines.
No, I will take all of that into consideration, I promise you that.
But I think a composite product would be great because you won't have the maintenance issues on it, and it's very easy to pressure wash it down if it gets
Yeah,
green stuff on it.
I agree.
whatever.
I agree.
Any comments about the aluminum fence?
No.
No, it's
very appropriate.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else, members of the commission? Is there a motion?
I move that we accept an application with the it's called shadow box, isn't it? What I'm
Yes,
talking
that's
about.
that's
With the
exactly what I
shadow
was
box,
looking at.
fencing.
I'll definitely do that.
And then I suppose on that you'd have a cap on it too. Well, you don't have to, but it's better. It'll save your framing if you do, if you have a cap on that.
Right.
I didn't catch, there was a motion and a second, is that right?
Well, I made a motion, I don't know.
And a second, okay.
Okay.
Anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Members of the commission, further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And
Don't
just
go far.
I'm sorry, I'm not going anywhere. The you call it a shadow box.
Shadow box.
Yeah, it's the same thing he described, just
Yeah.
shorthand way of saying it.
Yep.
All right, same property, same owners, different requests. It's a request for a sign at this property. David, do you have that up on the screen?
We have the landscape plan and then what appears to be a photo of the proposed logo or design sign. There was not a submission for the actual construction or shape of the sign.
So
Is it-
I do have a photo of the actual construction design.
We're currently negotiating with sign companies to see who can give us the better rate and the better
Product, yeah.
product.
So the sign would be 12 inches off the ground, and it would be 5 feet wide and 4 feet tall. It is gonna be made of wood, or composite to make it look like wood, and it will be maintenance-free, but it will be, fit very well into the home. And I would take into your consideration toning that color into more of the colors of the home, which is more of a yellowish color. But it would be sitting there at that corner right there.
And as far as placement, is it gonna be back far enough so that people can get a view down the road when they're turning?
Yes,
Not-
that's a very good point, yes, I think, that scale, I forget, what did he say that scale was?
It's 1/8 to a foot, I think.
Yeah, so I would say it's gotta be back way enough, so that way
10 or 12.
people can see it from both directions, but it won't be anywhere near the corner of the property.
Yeah, you had said 15, he had said 15 feet from the roadway in the application.
Okay.
Approximately there,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Sure.
It'll be closer to South Troy, or it'll be closer facing the Cleveland Avenue side, which I'm trying to get an understanding of where the sign
Looks
will
like
be
it's
placed.
closer to Troy on the drawing.
Yeah, it's on the corner of Troy and Cleveland there.
Okay.
Troy is left, on the left part of the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I forget, did this have lighting?
I'll probably have to come back for that. We got our first estimate to run full 110 out there, and it was cost prohibitive to run 110, so we are considering low voltage landscape lighting to moderately light the sign.
Do you have customers come in there? Do you need
Very
lighting?
infrequent, very infrequent.
You know, it is pretty much a residential area, and I think it might be nicer for your neighbors if it didn't have lighting.
Fair enough. Phase 1 will not have any lighting. If we ever think about it, we would come before you first.
Okay.
Would you consider a more traditional shape to the sign than what is shown here? I can't think of any signs that we have in the village that are like this. It looks a bit like a
restaurant
chain
sign.
restaurant.
It does look like a restaurant sign.
Okay. Now that I look at it, you're
and-
right.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
My marketing guy did it real fast. So
Well, I
I'm
mean-
wide open to suggestions. As long as my logo's on there, my name's on
I
there.
would think just a nice rectangular sign.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Without the,
Or an oval, whatever you
Yeah.
wanna make it.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Would you be okay with an oval one? Or do you
I
want
think so,
square?
yeah.
Okay.
I would prefer the rectangle.
Not particularly historic.
All right, we'll go with rectangle.
Yeah,
I wanna
okay.
make sure, we're just coming in the neighborhood. We wanna make
Yeah.
sure we do
I would
things the
think
right way.
rectangle would be.
Fair
So I'm
enough.
curious then, for our code, how the size of it is determined and allocated. Is
Yeah.
it based on the frontage, the exposed frontage of the building
Building.
itself to regulate that?
So for monument signs, and I don't have the code in front of me, so I would have to pull it up
Is
to
that 30
confirm
square
this.
feet?
It's a 30, yes, there is a 30 square foot maximum.
Maximum, yeah.
Monument signs, which is what this would be classified as, are not calculated based on the size of the building. Those stand alone as towards that 30 square foot requirement, so.
And
as
he's looking
long-
at 20.
Yes, 5x4, he's at 20. So there would be an additional 10 feet of signage that could be
And
installed.
is that a two-sided sign?
Yes.
It is, and we calculate one side of the sign as.
Okay,
the-
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay, so then
The
also,
frontage or face.
when you talk business for like hours, signage on the door, the building,
We
is
have
a
to come
QR
back. We're
code
just
that
gonna
you
put our round
scan?
logo on the door eventually, but I realize we have to come back to do that application.
Cause I think all those square footages add up. I'm not
It does.
trying to
It does.
deter
Mhm.
everything, I'm just trying to
But
make
if
sure
they're just
they're
at 20,
aware of
they
all
should be
those
okay.
do
Yeah.
add for themselves. To be conscious of signage, which include hours, so just being mindful of your allotted.
Yeah, we're
Just
a
making sure.
commercial corporate office, so we don't have hours, and
Okay.
like I said, you'll be there, lucky to see 3 or 4 people there at any given day. It's hard to get people to come to the office these days.
And parking, what kind of parking do you have?
Parking, we have that 3-car garage and the full 3-car spots. And then in the front, we have the gravel parking area for another 3 or 4 cars.
Okay.
Plenty of
Okay.
parking space.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Actually, I'll put a pitch in for something. So we have a big serving day in July 20th every year. It's the Saturday in July where we're not gonna do it here unless Glendale's interested, and I don't think this is the right committee to do it, but we're looking to, we in our old office, we would get 100 to 150 people together, meet at the office, and we had 3 or 4 buses that we'd ship out to City Gospel Mission, other type of homeless shelters where we would do painting and cleaning, and then everybody would come back and we'd have a little cookout and a little festival with some blow up things for kids to jump in. So I would love one day to partner up with the city to do something like that one day.
That's not us technically, but David can help you with
But I think it's a great
We're a
idea.
village of volunteers, so that
Yeah.
would probably be welcome here.
Yeah,
Yeah. And there are places you could do that here.
yeah. We call it Serve Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and we want it to be as big as a flying pig one day.
Okay, well, I move approval of the sign on the condition that it be rectangular in shape.
Motion,
I'll
is there a
second that.
second? Anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Further discussion?
Please, I
Yeah.
would like to ask
Sure.
a question. Could you look at our original design and let us know if you like that one better?
What, for the fence, you mean?
Oh, for the sign.
For the sign.
I do like it better.
So it would have an arch in the center and then be rectangular?
Yes.
Is that too restaurant-y still?
I think it's okay myself, personally.
It's better.
Yeah.
I think it incorporates
The circle,
your logo
our
very
sun.
nicely.
I think it's.
Much better than this.
And we're still within the allotted amount of colors, because that was an issue on some other signs. Because you have, if you don't count the gradient as different colors, obviously, you have the gold and then the teal and then the black. And I think it was 3. So I think the shape, actually, it's better.
Okay,
I like it.
all right,
I like it.
That's fine.
okay.
Very good.
So, on the
Let me
condition,
take the vote. We didn't have the vote yet.
well,
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you all.
All right.
Welcome to Glendale.
Yes.
And was her motion restated to accept that design?
Yeah, it was included in the very front, not being rectangular.
No, that's
it
different.
wasn't exactly, no, but that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah, that's Well, let's go back to the first item on the agenda, which was old business at 1044 North Troy. Is somebody here for the application of Sonia Felix? Okay. Well, welcome. We've been waiting for you.
I'm sorry, the last one the email did not make it to me that the meeting was changed.
We didn't change it. It was scheduled last month and nobody appeared, so we put it over to the regular scheduled meeting today, so that's why we're here.
Well, I'm here because the homeowner works this night and the potential contractor doesn't really get along with committees, I don't think.
All right.
I'm
Give your
fine.
name.
I'm fine. I'm Daniel Griesaber.
Okay. So you're the design the plans, it looks like, according to the application.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, we've reviewed your application, the application. You can describe it for us, and then we'll take it from there.
It's a small room addition on the side of her house, which she desperately needs. I don't think the need is necessarily the issue here, though. I was told by, was it Dave? I think it was Dave. He sent me a thing. He said the note about the, I call them mullions, the grids in the windows. That's no problem. They also said they wanted to see an existing elevation. And the other thing was the color to remain the same, and that the siding material would remain the same. So the exposure on this is about 7 or 8 inches, and it's got like a vertical ribbing in it. And that's up to the contractor to make sure. I made a set of copies if I may.
We've got a reduced copy, but this might help us. Yeah.
Well, this one has the There's 3 sheets here. That existing elevation is that one there, the second sheet.
Are these multiple copies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Second sheet is just the existing elevations that were originally submitted.
There's a small thing, but on the page where you have code data and project scope, you have, the zoning meets the city of Reading, Ohio,
Oh, my bad.
so.
Thank you, thank you.
It is a small house, and it would benefit from an addition. It's from 1866, at least that's what the auditor thinks.
It's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's small too, she needs,
So my comment is, or my question is, this is what we're talking about, right? This is the new part?
yes, that's an updated version of what you're looking at up there.
Okay.
That shows the, but also it shows the
The
volumes, as I call them.
muttons.
Muttons, yes.
The divisions in the window, so.
Muttons, and
so-
then the note about the siding
Okay.
and colors.
Just looking at the front and comparing the new addition to the original house, for one thing, the windows are proportioned very differently. The window on the front is horizontally oriented,
Right.
and historically, the windows were oriented vertically.
Okay,
And the muttons are not proportioned the way that an historic window would be proportioned.
okay.
And I also have a question about having a single side light associated, that's the window next to the door.
Sure.
Associated with the doorway, that's also not a traditional way of treating a doorway. Usually you'd have side lights on both sides. Yeah, and so, to me, I'm not sure it's as compatible as it could be with the
Okay.
design of the original house.
Yeah, I've never seen
Yeah.
windows oriented that way with, where they're,
I just draw what my customer asked me to draw, I'll ask him what size window and so forth, but I'm sure we can
Yeah.
accommodate, those issues, no problem. And I'm sure she'll be very accommodating too.
Yeah, but it's still not proportionate correctly.
So, and if none of the existing
Well,
windows
this would be
have mullions,
preferable.
They do not.
then there's no reason to put mullions in the new one.
That's right, that's
Okay.
correct, just, can you use the same windows that are in the rest of the
Yeah.
house?
So single pane windows are fine, double
Okay.
hung, single pane.
1/1, yeah.
1/1 is fine.
Okay.
and they should be longer in there, or they shouldn't be wider
More
than
vertical.
they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if she wants that width there, then maybe it might be 2 windows.
Yes,
A
you
dou-
could
a double
have
gang.
paired windows
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay.
yeah, that would look good.
And as far as the side light, if you just did a single light on either side rather than the double on one side, you know, that's a pretty wide, it's too
Yeah.
wide for that one door.
I
really.
agree, I agree, but I just, like I say,
So just
I say how big
Just
you
do-
want it, and
do one on each, do a one half that size on each side.
so
See what I'm saying?
double side light
Yeah.
door.
If you need it, if you need side lights,
If-
I mean,
yeah,
you
don't have to put
you're
'em
gonna
on.
be spending extra money doing that, and it doesn't really achieve that much, because it's not a very visible,
I think she just wanted to be able to look
Elevation.
into that portion of her backyard, I think. I don't know.
but she has a window in the door itself.
I just,
Yeah.
I understand, we understand that you're at her, so, okay.
Okay, so just another question. So on the addition, there's a door on 2 sides, and it appears from the front of the house that there's definitely a stylistic door, which is kind of arts and crafts-ish.
It is.
Any potential to match that? So it's consistent with the existing language of the architectural details.
Sure. I don't have any problem with that. I'm sure she won't either.
That even limits her view out even more by having the higher window.
Well, yeah.
What's this area used for right here? Maybe they could add another window for her to have a view out.
Do you have a plan?
There's a
Or
plan there's a plan in there on the screen.
I mean,
Yeah.
really, you could, if you made
predict
this
it.
elevation look like this, it would be.
There you go.
Okay.
Wood gutters even?
Yeah. What is that used for? What is gonna be the purpose of this room?
Well, if I recall, it's a family room and office.
Okay, then what I would do is lose the side lights entirely, put another window in here on the other side, on that blank part of the wall there.
And the front.
Unless that's gonna be a TV wall.
Oh, could be.
Maybe it is,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Especially for a family room, there's really no other wall in there.
Yeah, but
Right.
he said she wanted a view out, and if you're gonna change the door to a high window there and and make the side lights either narrow or get rid of them, I think for the same money as she's spending on the side lights, she could have another window there. It's just whether, like he said, if she's using it for a TV wall, then that's not gonna work.
Right, the room definitely is lacking in walls
Yeah.
substantially. The one wall's coming up.
Just for a little background then, why are there, and I'm not trying to eliminate a door, why
Right.
are there two different doors? Is one going to like towards a driveway for a car and the other one's going to a
This
backyard?
part, the lower part here is her side yard, and it's right against the UDF right there. If you're
Okay.
familiar with that house right there.
Yeah,
And then straight back is a garage, and right now there is a fence that sort of separates the back of the house in lieu of the garage. I think she was thinking about moving the fence, just to separate the fenced-in part of the backyard
okay.
from the side yard, to be able to not have to go through the gate. I personally would probably take the back door out if it was me.
Mm-hmm.
I
I
thought
don't
maybe
think-
she was planning on a deck there in the future off the back.
That might be a reason, but
Mm-hmm.
it was just to separate it, but she wasn't adamant about having the two doors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not trying to remove them, I just,
Okay.
for whatever her
Uh-huh.
design thought process was, I was just curious.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just one accesses directly into this side yard, the other one goes access
If you
straight
have
to the
two
backyard.
in-swinging doors in a room that size, you're taking away a lot of your
I agree.
floor
Wall
space.
space,
I-
yeah, if that
and your
is
wall space, yes.
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that's a TV wall, you're gonna be opening a door right in
Right
front
in
of
the
it.
TV.
Yeah, and the dividing partition walls that are in there, those are half walls.
Oh,
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah, the idea is
I
that
didn't read
the
that.
large space to the right is just, because the kitchen's right above it, so that would be family room or dining room, because to the room up to the top right is where her office, I guess you could say, is set up now. So she'll rather put the family room up there. Family room or dining room will be flipped like this, with the kitchen at the top, but her office would be the lower left corner, and she wanted to be open to the adjoining space.
Got it.
I'm not sure we can approve this without having a final design.
Well, unless you're explicit about the conditions.
I'll take a shot at it. I'd like to approve this with the following conditions. The three doors that match on craft
Mhm.
all taller than historical window. The side
The side lights would also have no mullions, no dividers?
correct.
Okay. I think it's probably understood, because those are windows after all, and you said that, but
Right.
the design of
I
the
think
drawing
that's-
show
It's
dividers.
true. Yeah.
And those sidelights would be half that width.
Right. Right.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
and what I'd like you to do is when you get the final,
Uh-huh.
bring it back to David. Otherwise, you're gonna have to come back and see us.
Okay.
Won't like that.
Yeah, just so, you'll just submit the revised plans, which you'll need to submit anyway for the building permit.
Right.
So,
Okay.
when you
Okay.
make those changes and submit them, we'll review it and make
Okay.
sure the
I
conditions
think you
match.
should talk to her though about the doors and how much space. Tell her how many
I
square
do.
feet that
I
takes
do.
away doing that.
I try to explain the value of things like that, especially wall space, to some people, and sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't. Where are you gonna put your furniture at, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because each one of those doors is taking 10 square feet at least out of the room.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if she took the side door off, she could easily put the back door on and have a little, little porch or something there and have
Deck
steps
up,
both
right.
ways if she wanted.
Right.
That's true.
No, I think she would definitely keep the lower door, because that's where her driveway and stuff goes back to
Okay,
a
well,
detached garage,
That's fine.
I think, but
Although if she had,
it's just all about
if
the
she had a
long-term
little
vision
deck
of
off the back and had steps coming off to that,
Right.
coming off that way, that would serve the purpose, right?
It would, yeah. Yeah.
And then she'd eliminate a door and it'd work.
I like that. I will
Glad we.
bring
could
that to her
value.
attention and try to talk her out of at least one of the doors.
Well, it also lowers the cost,
Sure. Yes, it does.
improves efficiency for heating,
Yeah.
a whole bunch of things.
All right, I'll
More
second.
space.
All right, motion and a second. Is there anyone in the audience wish to address this application? Further discussion, members of the commission. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. This is my
Appreciate your
first
time.
For, I've only done variance commissions things. I've never been a historical one. Will this information, will I receive this with the stipulations?
I do have a card on me, I think.
All right, that concludes our action items for this evening.
Give me a call tomorrow at the office.
Okay.
And we'll go over the details.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you again.
Anyone else in the audience wish to address the
It's your
commission?
moment.
Any further business, members of the commission?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
All right.